Delivery guy messes with wrong kid. Instant regret. My mom always worked late. Being a nurse meant her shifts were unpredictable. And most nights, I was holding down the fort, which basically meant microwaving something edible and trying not to burn the house down while lost in the labyrinth of code on my laptop. I'd been saving up for weeks, skipping lunches and turning down invitations to the movies, all for a new graphics card. The old one was choking on the rendering for my game design project with Maya. This wasn't just any upgrade, it was the key to unlocking the next level. The pizza was supposed to arrive at 7. It was almost 8 when a beat-up sedan screeched to a halt in front of my house. A guy, maybe mid-20s, with a greasy ponytail and a permanent sneer hopped out. That was Chad. He shoved the pizza box at me. "Sign here, kid." I signed, the cheap pen barely working. "Thanks," Chad just grunted. "Tips not included, you know. Delivery ain't free." I fished out a couple of crumpled bills from my pocket. It wasn't much, but it was all I had. "Sorry, that's all I've got." He glared at the money like it was dog poop. "Whatever. Just try and have it ready next time." Some people actually appreciate getting their food hot. The pizza was lukewarm at best, the cheese congealed and sad. I chalked it up to a bad night and moved on. Annoying, but not worth dwelling on. A week later, the graphics card finally arrived. I'd been tracking the package online, practically vibrating with anticipation. The delivery window was between 2 and 4 p.m. At 4:30, I started to get nervous. Then the same beat-up sedan pulled up. Chad, again. He sauntered to my door, holding the package like it was contaminated waste. "Another one for the little man." I forced a smile. "Hey, thanks." I was starting to think it got lost. He shrugged. "Traffic's a killer. Plus, had to take a detour." He smirked. Really punchable smirk. I just wanted my graphics card. I grabbed the package, and as I did, I noticed a dent on the side. This looks a little damaged." Chad scoffed. "Probably just the box. Stuff happens." He turned to leave. "Don't forget to rate your delivery," he called back, dripping with sarcasm. Inside, the box was crushed. The anti-static bag protecting the graphics card was torn. I held my breath and pulled it out. One of the cooling fans was snapped off. Rage, hot and sudden, flooded through me. This wasn't just stuff happens, this was deliberate, this was personal. I called Maya. "You're not going to believe this," I said, my voice tight. I told her everything, from the cold pizza to the mangled graphics card. Maya was furious. "That jerk, you have to report him." I thought about it, but what's that going to do? A slap on the wrist. He'll probably just deny everything. Then we have to do something else. Something creative. Maya's voice had that glint in it, the one that meant she was already plotting. Over the next few days, I started paying attention. I watched Chad's deliveries. He cut corners, blowing through stop signs, parking in handicapped spots. He was especially rude to anyone who looked young or didn't tip generously. He seemed to thrive on being a low-level bully. I also did some digging online. A few complaints on the delivery company's website, buried under generic "thank you for your feedback" responses. A couple of angry posts on social media, quickly deleted. He was skating by just under the radar. Then came the ultimate blow. I managed to scrape together enough cash for a used but still powerful replacement card. I ordered it, praying it wouldn't be Chad who delivered it. No such luck. I watched from the window as he walked up to the porch. He didn't even bother ringing the bell. He just tossed the package onto the porch, right into a puddle left by the morning rain. That was it, the final straw. That night, Maya came over. We spread out printouts of maps, delivery routes, and snippets of code on my desk. "Okay," I said, my voice grim. "Let's make this guy's life a living hell." The delivery company's website had a customer portal. It was surprisingly vulnerable. The tracking system, while secure on the surface, had a few, let's call them undocumented features. Features that allowed a clever user to reroute packages, change delivery times, and even alter delivery notes. It wasn't hacking, exactly. More like exploiting poorly designed software. I spent hours writing a script, a simple program that could automate the process. Maya helped me test it, finding bugs and suggesting improvements. We focused on Chad's usual route, identifying businesses that would be particularly inconvenienced by delayed or misplaced deliveries. The local law firm, the fancy bakery that catered to corporate events, the hardware store that needed supplies delivered on time. The plan was simple chaos. The next day was Friday, usually a busy day for deliveries. I activated the script at 9 a.m., started subtly, rerouting a few packages here and there, adding cryptic delivery notes like "back entrance only" or "speak to supervisor." By lunchtime, Chad's route was a disaster. Packages were going to the wrong addresses. Delivery times were constantly changing. The dispatcher was blowing up his phone. I watched, a strange mix of anxiety and satisfaction churning in my stomach. I wasn't proud of what I was doing, but Chad had pushed me too far. Around 3 p.m., I heard a car screech to a halt outside. Chad stormed up to my door, his face red with fury. "You," he yelled, pointing a finger at me. "You're messing with my deliveries, aren't you?" I played dumb. "What are you talking about? Don't act innocent, I know it's you. You think you're so smart, playing games with me." "I have no idea what you're talking about," I repeated, my voice calm. "You little punk, I'm going to what?" A voice interrupted. Mrs. Davies, our next-door neighbor, was standing on her porch, arms crossed. She was a tiny woman, but she had a presence that could intimidate a linebacker. "Is there a problem here?" she asked, her voice sharp. Chad stammered. "No, ma'am, just a misunderstanding." "It sounds like you're harassing this boy, Mrs. Davies said, her eyes narrowed. "I saw you yelling. I'm going to call the police if you don't leave him alone." Chad's face went white. He mumbled something about crazy neighbors and stomped back to his car. Mrs. Davies gave me a knowing look. "You be careful, Leo. Some people just can't handle being outsmarted." I just nodded, feeling a surge of gratitude. The next few days were tense. I kept the script running, but I dialed it back, focusing on minor inconveniences rather than outright chaos. I didn't want to attract too much attention. The delivery company launched an internal investigation. They reviewed Chad's route history, found the anomalies, and started questioning him. Mrs. Davies, true to her word, reported Chad's behavior to the company. She emphasized his aggressive demeanor and the fact that I seemed genuinely confused by his accusations. The dispatcher, remembering the previous complaints against Chad, started to suspect foul play. They dug deeper, reviewing his delivery logs, GPS data, and customer feedback. It didn't take long for them to uncover the truth. Chad had been falsifying delivery records, taking unauthorized breaks, and generally shirking his responsibilities. The rerouted packages, the changed delivery times, it was all traced back to him. A week later, I saw Chad packing his belongings into his beat-up sedan. He looked defeated, his greasy ponytail hanging limp. I heard later that he'd been fired. The delivery company was pressing charges for fraud and falsifying documents. The pizza place fired him too. Apparently, the owner heard about Chad's behavior and how his attitude was hurting the restaurant's reputation. A few days after that, I got a call from the delivery company's customer service department. They apologized for Chad's behavior and offered a full refund for the damaged graphics card. They even threw in a gift certificate for a local electronics store. I went to the store with Maya and picked out a new graphics card, even better than the first one. We spent the rest of the day coding, the new card purring like a kitten. Mr. Henderson, the retired electrical engineer across the street, stopped by a few days later. He didn't say much, just a quiet, "Heard you had a bit of trouble with that delivery guy. Good on you for standing up for yourself." He winked and walked away. Even the high school bullies, the guys who usually shoved me into lockers and called me Brainiac, seemed to treat me with a little more respect. They'd heard about what happened, about how I'd taken down that delivery guy. But it wasn't about the respect, or the revenge, or even the graphics card. It was about the feeling of empowerment, of knowing that even a seemingly insignificant kid could stand up to a bully and win. The other day, a package arrived, a small one. I opened it to find a cheap USB drive. On it, a single text file, "Thanks for the chaos. Think you can stop me again? Looks like I need to plan a little more chaos."